what you can do to get a straight line is go to your default brush here, take transfer off, shape dynamic off, then you can have hold shift, press first, then hold shift, and then pick the dot, press, hold shift, pick the dot, and if you still hold shift, it will continue down. If you release, then it won't follow. So these are usually what I use to get a straight line if I'm not freehand. You can freehand, it's okay. Alright, so now we're going to talk about 1 point perspective here. Usually first thing that you need to know is you need to have horizontal line, which is right here. That's where the furthest point that you are going to, that's basically on the horizon, so that's the furthest you could see. And then you're gonna have to pick your vanishing point. Let's don't pick in the middle because that's gonna be too typical. So I move to the left or move to the right. I'm just gonna pick maybe a little here. That will be your vanishing point. And V, edge, so you need horizontal line, vanishing point. Then you are going to need all these construction lines starting from there, either from below or from up top. Make sure that they all line up. It's not super accurate, is it? Gonna make the line thinner and just draw some, random line. Make sure they start from the same origin. So it's just going to be roughly, so it might be slightly, off, not from the origin, but when you draw it, try to make it super accurate. So there you have all these lines from the vanishing point. Then I'm going to name this H. Wait, what's this one? This is V. And this is H. This is line. So now we are going to excuse me, actually I'm going to color on this line to make it green so that it doesn't, so I lock the layer, so it's easier to identify which is which when I'm going to start drawing an object in front of it. So now you're going to need to find the line for the ground. So you could maybe use the same color. Section it. So in this grid here, I'm trying to establish it as the ground floor, and when you have the horizontal line in the middle, it's more like a normal viewpoint. Sort of when we look at the normal on the straight down to the horizontal line. Sometimes you have a horizontal line that are high. This will be bird eye view, but we're going to talk about that later. So we're going to move that here. That will be bird eye view, and this will be ant's eye view. So you can move it up or down, and anywhere in the middle you're going to have pretty much a normal viewport. So now let's, and this grid, if you want to know how far this is between the distance here, let's say this is like 25 meter, then you can find it by drawing cross line here. Drag it from the vanishing point, cross the X, the middle of the X. Come on, there, and wherever it's intersect with the closer line, then you're going to draw it from the corner, this furthest corner here, cut it with there. You can either do it on this side too, will be the same, and then you have that section, and the distance from here to there is equal the distance from here to here. So this is 25 meter, that will be 25 meter. So alright, that will be measuring. And same thing if you go vertical, right? So that is how you find. So I'm gonna, as I get the grid, it's gonna get smaller as it go further down, because object gets smaller as it get further out, right? So now you have that on the top. You can do that same thing on the top also, but now I'm just drawing it on the bottom because I want to establish the floor. So now I am going to draw something on top of this. This will be my drawing. But before that, I'm gonna try to establish a vertical grid. You know, just wherever you feel like you want to add it. It's fine. So now it's just gonna be my vertical grid. You can have it on the same line or a different line. Now, why do I do this? Because now I have the grid that I can go off of and make whatever building or something that you want to add them on. You know, and if it's on the same line, that means it's on the same street. If it's not on the same line, it could be some other different part of the building or something. Now I'm going to go to drawing. I'm going to pick black or gray. I'm going to tone this down a bit. So this will be grid. I'm going to use about 40. I'm going to tone the grid down a bit. So now I'm going to go back to drawing. So this, just going to make it easy here. That will be the building. So let's just say I'm drawing a street with some kind of building on it. Just gonna freehand it. Right, and now you have all these lines that you have to kind of follow the structure of the line. I'm gonna tone the vanishing point, everything else down also. And this you won't see that wall because that wall got blocked. Whatever is on the away from to the left side of the vanishing point, you will see the wall that facing right. If it's on this side, that means you will see the wall from the right side. So let me make it easier here. Start it from there, about the same measurement, same line. Will be that building will be even in the depth, and from that perspective line here, maybe balcony. Then you have another building here. Now I'm going to establishing the box. And then the street. Oops, too thick. And now you have like some kind of line that you can measure up with. You can just guess which line could go. And then this part may be the door or something, right? Try to get close to the line of perspective. Then up top you have some sort of a balcony windows. My line's kind of crooked, so I need to clean it up a bit. Then you probably have maybe this side you can add some door here. Maybe balcony or roof coming down. Window. Columns. And you have maybe another part of the building here connect. Balcony. Then you can have another balcony here. Then you have windows, door. You can add a person here. That might be too big. I'm gonna make it slightly smaller. Oops, wrong button. So their scale, the door should be a lot higher than the person, so the person will be here. Then you can have another building on the cross street. You can cut this section out. Make sure that your floor are kind of line up. Then you have another, maybe this kind of fence. You have a tower there. And this, you probably won't see the side of it because it's coming from this way. And then you're gonna cut the sidewalk. Then another sidewalk on this. So you're gonna have this section turn, maybe some street light. Some rooftop. And now we're gonna come back to this side. I'm gonna try to see what else I can add. This one you're gonna be seeing the bottom of the roof now. Since it's on top of the vertical line. And you have another here, vertical line there. So this, let's add some balcony here. Then another section of the house, and then line come from there. And in here you can add maybe cars or a sidewalk. I'm gonna add a sidewalk here. Oops. I can just make an estimation from that line here to there, right, and turn. And this window might have some kind of curved top. Another dude standing here. So this if you try to make it in the big scale. And here you can have maybe some box or card. Right, make sure that it line up with the perspective. Close. And then another building, another roof, window, right, roof from the window. You don't have to make it huge, right? You can make it quite small, but make sure it's read, and on this width of the window I'm just making estimation, like it would be bigger as it closer and further away it would be smaller. But in the end, if you're gonna start finishing it up, you're gonna have to measure like what we measure later on, X cross, and then all the way follow it back to the perspective. If you get confused, go back to how did I measure the width of the box. And everything I draw here is just gonna have to be, I can just sort of make an estimate, you know, if it's gonna be off or not. Just draw the line up, right? This might be a little, and then this go down a bit more. But to make it super accurate, you're gonna have to measure everything. But the more you do, the better you can guess. And then in here, if you want to add a little more, then you can add a little thickness here inside the door, and then thickness there, so you have basically section of the inside the door. Maybe at the door frame, columns. Now you can add maybe some sign. Department store sign. Store. My handwriting is pretty bad, so I don't want to. Store. Right there. Right, and then on here you add another building here, maybe add more roof. Then I'm going to turn all this line off, so now you have basically some sort of a town. Then as you go further, you can add more buildings. Right. This line doesn't belong anywhere. And then make sure that all the line will kind of match down to the perspective, to the vanishing point there. add like small window, because this one is like really further out. Maybe some building from far away here. And the window is going to be really thin and small as it goes further out. Here you can add another street sign. Now you can add maybe, let me fix this a little bit here. This might be some kind of a bar. Have some sign laying out on the street, people walking. And as you go further out, people will get smaller. Then now you can add some kind of a vehicle, which is, let's add some car here. And have to go back to the perspective line. Right. And now you can just kind of follow. There will be maybe some kind of a truck. Some guys driving. And I'm going to turn all this off. So now you have like a pretty basic city on this view. Then you can add maybe fire hydrant or some more stuff here. You can also add, like, if this is a second floor, let's measure that. So, whoops, that line's not so accurate here. Try to get it into the horizontal line there. And this will be also the second floor. It has to kind of match up, right? So from that to here, maybe you have some window, and this may have just graffiti or something. You can have a fire hydrant, trash can, post office can. You can have street light or street light. This one may be a little too tall there. Then I turn all this off. So now you have a basic scene of, you know, some sort of a perspective, and then in here you might have some kind of a door. Let me turn the grid on again. Might be some kind of a big mansion or something, have some restaurant or whatever. And decorate the roof a little bit there. Roof a little bit. Maybe some kind of a cool sushi restaurant of some sort. Has like circular window, maybe. People walking. Write big and then go small. Alright, so basically now we have a pretty basic, and I'm just gonna tweak that a bit. I forgot what that was. That's probably some part of, I don't know, something. I'm gonna redo it a bit here. And let's turn on that grid. This will be super steep.